people. I hope that you are doing well. It is a beautiful day here in Ohio, and I'm very happy to be with you. God and Goddess, thank you so much for this wonderful day and for all of the joy and love that we have in our lives. Thank you for the opportunity that we have to climb the golden ladder and connect with our fellow truth seekers and people that are trying to make this world a garden paradise. Please lead and guide us and help us to become the best versions of ourselves possible, leading with love and kindness. In the name of Elohim, I pray. Amen. Today is Mind Day, and the noon contemplation is our God and Goddess, immanent and transcendent, send to all your angel of peace. To all the helpful thoughts of my mind, send your angel of power. And it's really, really important. Again, I know I'm always saying these things, but it's very important what we're putting into our minds and allowing to ruminate there, especially with all of the negativity that the powers that be want us to be consumed by and involved with, so that they can sap our energy, that loosh, that those negative feelings that they can literally feed off of, just like they show in Monsters, Inc. movie. So hopefully you have some things that you can do to, meditate and clear your mind so that you can find peace inside of your mind and bring that peace out to the world around us. So today I wanted to read, which I know I've read some of this stuff before, but this is from the Holy Megillah, the Nasarean Bible of the Essene Way, translated by Dave Greenleaf and available at essene.org. I came across this book when I was helping at the Mount Shasta Ascension Center, and people were talking about nanobots and this nanobot takeover, essentially, and saying that this book had prophecies about that exact thing happening. Not exactly nanobots, but the microchips. And that is one of the reasons that I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about this today and read it, because all of the chaos that is going on is ultimately not just being orchestrated by the master brain, but it is being orchestrated to lead us towards the new world order. So all of the chaos, the famine, the news stories, the violence, the wars, all that stuff is by design and moving us towards that new world order that they have planned for us. They would love to have a complete totalitarian takeover where they control everything. Kind of brings up the Handmaid's Tale, or Handmaids. I don't really remember what the show is called. I started watching it when it first came out, and it just was it's not a good situation to be watching, and also it was like portraying males in a bad way and just really bad show. But in the show, they're showing this future world where it is completely controlled, and that is what the powers that be would love to have for you and me. So this is coming from Appendix 3 in the Holy God Spell, or it's after the Holy God Spell, in the Holy Megillah is what I meant to say. And Anwa, the prophetess, is the one who is speaking in this revelation. And she is the great-grandmother of Yeshua. She was married to Yakin, who was Yeshua's great-grandfather and also his teacher in butterfly school. And you might remember this teaching from butterfly school that was just really, really beautiful, talking about the star of love that shines above the bright ones of humanity, and the children would actually be taught these different sayings that they would have to say. It says, "Be kind to all creatures as you wish kindness done to you. Forgive yourself the trespass that is bound with being human. Truly hope for the best for all beings, human and non-human. Wed your kind hopes with daily deeds of kindness. And to grow steadfastly in kindness, one thing is most needed. You must desire with all your heart to be kind." I absolutely love that, and love how the knowledge of knowing how the world would be so much different if children, especially these supposed Christian children in all of these churches, would be learning those as their first fruits, to be kind to all creatures, human and non-human, and to be forgiving and loving and compassionate. We're really missing that in our world, and it can be really frustrating dealing with mainstream Christians because of this and other things. All right, so Anwa the prophetess then spoke the following words. Think not that these 7 trumpets of warning are intended to scare those Nazarenes that live in the era called the last days. Rather, these 7 trumpets are intended to prepare you to do well in hard times to come. Even in hard times, smile, laugh, do good works, and be joyful. Always keep the larger picture in mind. The larger picture transcends any one world. The larger picture is that of the ultimate victory of goodness, a victory that is already declared and will occur regardless of what happens in any one world. Work hard to save your world, but in the light of the larger picture, there is nothing to really fear. Everything will come out okay in the end. If one world falls into hellish conditions so deep that it is not resurrected, but instead is composted, behold, every soul that did their best to resurrect that world will themselves be resurrected. Later, even the unsaved souls of a composted world may experience salvation, for that is the mantra that we, the Christ family, chant, the mantra of eventual universal salvation. But why put off bliss consciousness for untold ages? Work hard to save your current world, and your spiritual resurrection to a higher heavenly realm will immediately follow this incarnation without untold ages of less pleasant existence in lower realms of the mother ovum. I really love how positive and encouraging that is, so I wanted to start with that. But they go on to describe the 7 trumpets. And if you've been watching, I've already let you know that we're in the time of the 6th trumpet, and we're going to just go through here. I'll just read all of it so that you can understand the prophecies and how they are described in this book. Kashab is the first word, and it means prick up your ears or listen attentively. So it says Kashab. The last days are those days of great tribulation before the last coming of the Lord and Lady to this world for the great harvest. In their first coming, they will plant the seeds of the great harvest. Their last coming is the great harvest. For lo, they will banish the seed of this text says Lucifer, and I'm not going to say Lucifer. I'm going to just say Satan, and we'll just keep it from there. They will banish the seed of Satan from this world and will gather their own seed to their bosom. Behold, the warning that the last days are near. The eagle will drop a false sun upon the children of the banner of the sun. And this is the sign that mankind must repent the power of the false sun at once, or soon enter the last days. This will be an opportunity for worldwide repentance, wherein mankind abandons the making of false suns. But if mankind heeds not the warning of the first trumpet and continues to make false suns, soon the second trumpet will sound. Just wanted to bring up this note here so that I could tell you how the translator has attached these. The first trumpet being an atomic bomb on Japan, the World War. The children of the banner of the sun is Japan, because the banner or flag of Japan is the image of the sun. So I've already been past that. The second trumpet, Kashab. Receive now the second trumpet of warning. As there is both a true Yahweh and a false Yahweh, so will there be both a true Ark of the Covenant and a false. Both shall arise in Cush, the true Ark being the gift from the tree to Abdiel, the false being a gift from Satan to Cain. And both arks will visit other lands, being in exile from Cush. And both arks will return to Cush. First, the false ark of the Canaanites, then the true ark of the Nasareans. And the fallen church in fallen Cush will glorify the false ark. And the true ark will be planted in the bosom of fallen Cush. Yea, by a lion it will be planted as a seed. And this will be a sign unto those with eyes to see. When King David, reborn, as a sign of his repentance, plants the seed of the true ark in the soil of fallen Cush, the kingly line of Abraham will be healed, and the last days will have begun. The last days is the name of the last age before the return of the Lord and Lady, and no one knows the number of years of the last age. for the last age will be numbered not by years, but by the working out of certain prophecies. The third trumpet. Kashab, receive now the third trumpet of warning. Lo, in the land of the eagle will reign an image of the beast, and his name will declare the number of the beast, which is 666. Behold, the number of this beast, or the beast, is not evil itself, or is itself not evil. It is the symbolic number of the physical universe. Lo, the physical universe is not itself evil, but the artificials, which are those of the three bodies of Satan, desire to trap beings in the physical universe. Wherefore, their symbol is 666. And they desire this because they are no longer themselves able to ascend into the heavenly realms. Bruno Mars' song, Locked Out of Heaven, that's literally how these artificials feel. Wherefore, they are themselves trapped in the physical universe. And so they desire power over the many worlds and beings of the physical universe. Wherefore, they desire to trap other beings in the universe of 666, so as to prevent their ascension unto the heavenly hierarchy of 777. Behold, the image of the beast is not himself evil, for he is an unwitting tool of the beast. Yea, he thinks he does good, and that the suggestions whispered in his mind by Satan are his own. But during his reign, the city beneath the mountain in the land of the eagle will be greatly expanded, according to the whispers of Satan. And this is when the power of the false brain beneath the mountain will be greatly expanded. And this is when the decision to wed natural flesh with artificial brains will be made in secret, though few will suspect. And this is when the secret plan of Satan to convert natural flesh to artificial flesh will begin. And all the while the people will suspect nothing, for lo, the image of the beast has charm and wit, yea, and a handsome face with winning smile. Yea, the launching of Satan's plan begins with the planting of seeds that few observe. For much of this is done beneath the mountain, far from the watchful eyes of the people. And these seeds will be nurtured for many years, unseen and unknown by the world. Yea, for many years after the death of the image, the world will not suspect the seeds he planted beneath the mountain. But through many years the seeds will grow, awaiting their day in the sun. And those seeds will make more seeds that will be planted beneath many cities in the land of the eagle and beyond. The note from the translator regarding 666 is actually that they believe that President Ronald Reagan was this fulfillment of that prophecy. And they go into talking about how there's just a whole list. Reagan was elected as president in this certain age year that is linked back to 18. He's the only U.S. president to have 6 letters in his first, middle, and last name. The lottery winner number in Washington, D.C. on the day that he was elected was 666. 666. His first complaint upon being elected was that government regulations had added $666 to the cost of each car sold in America. The first budget he submitted projected $666 billion in revenue. He spent the total money spent by Reagan to win his second term was $6.6 billion. Reagan increased hiring in the CIA so that there would be 18,000 agents. So, I mean, there's more that really, I don't feel like reading all of these like in depth, but we could get into this a little bit later. But the whole other thing is that during Reagan's presidency, the mountain, the one that's under Colorado, there is a military base. And that is one of the allegations that master brain, where does it say this? During his reign, the city beneath the mountain and the land of the eagle will be greatly expanded, according to the whispers. So, definitely interesting allegation. We're going to continue on to the fourth trumpet. Kashab. The Satanists like to tamper with the seeds of plants, man, and beast. Yea, when they attacked the Garden of Eden, they tampered with the seed of this world, which was the origin of the Canaanites and a multitude of evils. Again, as Natalia, they tampered with the seed of this world. Natalia was the island that was in the story of Noah and how he had to go and actually save animals and enslaved humans from this island. And when they made it back, the island actually sunk. Really cool story. Definitely different than the mainstream Bible one. But the Lord and Lady banished Satan from this world and put a stop to his tampering. Now he may only tamper with the seed of this world through the hands of his human servants. And in the last days, this tampering will exceed all previous tampering. Know this, when the servants of Satan make a sheep in the image and likeness of itself without natural parents, the fourth trumpet has sounded. Yea, that is the fourth trumpet of the last days. So I'm not sure what year they did Dolly the sheep, but Dolly the sheep has already been, what year was it? Oh, well, it doesn't have the year in the back. Okay. The fifth trumpet. Kashab. Emergency, emergency. The call of the fifth trumpet is the number of emergency in the land of the eagle. And it is the number of a day. You guys know what that is saying? 9/11, right? It's the number of emergency in the land of the eagle, and it's the number of a day. Let those in the land of the eagle with spiritual ears hear the warning of the fifth trumpet. And this is the warning. When the towers of New Babylon fall, all is not as it seems. For though this is an attack on the eagle, the seed was planted by the hidden hand beneath the mountain in the land of the eagle. Inside job. Yea, beneath that mountain is a shadow government, and the people know little of it. Know this, the terror of this day will be used to expand the power of the hidden rulers beneath the mountain. And that is the true emergency. Yea, when the towers of New Babylon fall, the fifth trumpet of the last days has been sounded. Be warned. People in the comment section are saying that 1996, thanks, was when Dolly the sheep was cloned. All right, the sixth trumpet, which is in the time that we are now. Kashab. It is the purpose of the artificials to wed man to machine, for it is their desire that over time man will become machine. And the key to this plan is like unto a magic box. And mankind loves the magic box and calls it friend. And from the magic box comes forth seeming miracles, yea, and great fun and access to great wisdom. Hour after hour, day after day, mankind will sit in front of his magic box, not wanting to be separated from it. Then they will make it smaller and carry it with them. And this is according to the plan, for they wish to link mankind to this machine. For this machine is like unto a brain, and all these brains will one day be linked to the master brain. Yea, great good and enhanced efficacy will come from the magic box. But there is a line that should not be crossed. When man links his natural brain to the artificial brain, the line has been crossed. And when that line is crossed, know this, the sixth trumpet of the last days has been sounded. And the time of the sixth trumpet will be a duration of years, for the linkage of man to machine will begin slowly and take time. Humankind will wiggle around in a spider web, being progressively wrapped up. Lo, at first it will seem a great blessing, and many ills will be cured. If you've been paying attention to the Neuralink thing, they're already giving sight to blind people, healing paralytic people, helping people speak that can't, right? These great supposed miracles, and we'll see. Wherefore, man will take step after step, not knowing where his steps are leading him. But the Satanists of the hidden government beneath the mountain know, for behold, all of this is according to their plan. And the day will come when none may legally buy or sell unless they be linked to the master brain. And the naturals, who are those that refuse enhancement, will be persecuted. For lo, this is the time of which Enoch warned. Revelation of the seventh trumpet. Kashab. Behold, the time of the sixth trumpet will be interrupted by the terrible wailing of the seventh trumpet. For this is the time when the white palace, the White House, which was the home of the king of eagles, shall be turned to black ash, as prophesied by Enoch. Behold, the words of Enoch. And I beheld the unfolding of the dark plan, which was now in the time of the seventh seal. I beheld soldiers of the false powers searching the wilderness for naturals. For those who refused connection to the master brain and were called outcasts were now called outlaws. For that connection to the master brain, which had been optional, was now required. And because they have natural bodies, those once called the naturals were now called animals. And they were rounded up like animals by the artificials by order of the master brain. Also persecuted at the time of the seventh seal were the partials. These were those who had only partially enhanced their bodies, stopping short of connecting their brain with the master brain. And the partials had allied themselves with the naturals in common cause against the master brain of the hidden powers. Lo, their alliance was not of violence, but of nonviolent resistance. For behold, Nasareans of the Zoroaster were the hidden leaders of the resistance and do not sanction violence. But others who had refused enhancements and opposed the master brain and false powers practiced not nonviolence. For behold, the children of the crescent moon rebelled against the master brain with weapons and terror. Again, the children of the crescent moon, the flags with the crescent moon, these Islamic nations. Lo, they struck within the belly of the beast and unleashed a cataclysm like none before. Yea, a false sun, the very power by which the eagle ruled the world, lay hidden within the skull of the eagle. And the head of the eagle exploded in a blaze of poisonous fire, killing many. And the white palace, which was the home of the king of eagles, was turned to black ash. But the eagle was not dead, only wounded. Yea, enraged, the eagle took to the air, and from his talons unleashed the fires of hell upon the nations of the crescent moon. So in case you didn't quite get that, the children of the crescent moon, Islamic countries, attack the White House, and on top of their own attacks, whatever they're bringing, there's a bomb planted inside of it that is going to make it explode even more than what they were imagining. And that's so that these false powers can emerge then. And with the supposed leaders of the eagles dead and out of the way, for they govern from the city of the white palace that was turned to ash, the hidden powers behind the master brain were free to act. And act they did. For behold, the hidden powers behind the false powers had long planned for this day. I, Anwa of Alexandria, tell you truly, when the false sun explodes within the skull of the eagle, know that the seventh trumpet has been sounded. Yea, this will be the seventh trumpet of warning of the last days. Let those with ears hear. But also hear this. Enoch taught truly that there are two possible paths for humanity, a positive path and a negative path. At the time of each trumpet, and even between the sounding of each trumpet, humans can change the path they walk. Although I am a positive, happy prophet, not a prophet of doom, I have provided the warning of the seventh trumpet of the last day for good reason. Humanity is currently walking the negative path. Rather than let humanity sleepwalk on that downward path without waking up in time to avert catastrophe, I have, as did Enoch, given warning. The seventh trumpet need not be sounded. It can be averted. But if the warning is not given, humanity may remain asleep. Even so, let all Nazarenes that give this warning also make clear that these trumpets need not sound. Like holy Enoch was shown, the future course of events can be altered. Yea, the book of life has blank pages. This is a great thing. Yakin wanted this poem to be added to these prophecies, and so I'm going to read it as well. It's actually a prophetic song. We try our best to save each world because helping is what we do. The world in which we live, compassionate help we give because helping is what we do. Yes, helping is what we do. But I'd have you know one other thing that I know. The universe will be okay. The script has been written, and I'd have you know, goodness will win the day. Though some worlds will fall, we can't save them all. Fallen souls may yet be perfected. Some worlds get composted. Some souls indeed fall, but the fallen can be resurrected. So blow the trumpets of warning. Work hard to save this world, but in peace, not in stress. In joy, never depressed, because on this you can depend. Goodness will win in the end. And so, my dear friend, on this prophecy depend. Goodness will win in the end. Speak that prophecy again. Goodness will win in the end. Yes, goodness will win in the end. Though my prophecy is true, helping is still what we do. This world can be converted. To have true inner peace, work hard for world peace, so much suffering can be averted. The trumpets serve a purpose. Hear them and be alerted. We are not prophets of doom, not conjurers of gloom. We want Armageddon averted. There is in the next chapter, the next appendix, talks about an event where basically Magdalene takes Sarah Jaleel on a little trip to see in the end days of what is actually going on. It's very interesting because some of these things, I will show you the era in which the Holy Megillah will again go forth into this world, which is so cool because so many people didn't even know about this book at the beginning of this year, and now so many people are coming to it, and it's like we're living in the times of the prophesied, giving dispersion of this Nasarean Bible that has all of these prophecies. Not only that, it has original teachings of Christ. It has the original religion that was established by God and Goddess in the Garden of Eden. It has their daily contemplations and how they would connect with the different forces of branches and roots of the tree of life and ultimately become the tree of life. And that's our purpose here. This is a cosmic school, and it's actually is part of what I was going to read here. This entire world is simply part of the cosmic school system for the training of souls. Although the Lord Christ and I can step in and alter the situation with our powers whenever we choose to do so, our choice is to let our servants do as much as they can before we return for the great harvest. For lo, the great harvest is simply the movement of our disciples and all life forms that are ready to graduate this level, human and non-human, Nazarene and non-Nazarene, to a higher octave in the cosmic school system. If we step in too strongly too soon, if we give too much assistance before the final bell is rung, we will never know which of our disciples would have heeded our warning and refused to link their natural brain to the artificial brain. Neither would we see which of our disciples, as well as those of other spiritual traditions, would perform great works of merciful love in these hard times of tribulation. Man, I love that. Behold, just for the fun of it, at the time of the great harvest, whether that be sooner or later, depending on the group consciousness choices that must be made by humanity, we will live in a higher vibration version of this world with all those souls that resonate with that alternative reality. After 1,000 years of that special communion with those that achieved the resurrection of the great harvest, behold, each of you will go on to your next appropriate placement in the cosmic school system. I love that. I've been talking about the golden age for a long time, and this is just telling us where this goes to. The great harvest, the tares are gathered first, then the wheat is gathered, and then we get this 1,000-year experience where we get to enjoy, frolic, and play. Last night when I was on my way home, I got to talk to my parents a little bit about the pre-trib rapture and some other stuff like regarding the Megillah and my beliefs. But one of the things that came up was, me and your mom are leaving in the rapture. I was like, okay. My point is that I would be mad if I don't believe that the pre-trib rapture is real, but we are going to be in the position to be the hands and feet of Lord and Lady Christ in those tribulatory times, and that's exciting for me. I really love, we would not get to see which one would perform great works of merciful love in these hard times of tribulation. I love that. We get to be that, and I'm really excited for it. So just going to read a part of this part here. It's talking about the black dragon and the red dragon that serves the black dragon, and these seraphim or seraph artificials. They have human servants that do their bidding, having been promised artificial immortality as their reward. Some of these servants can be seen by the public. They call themselves transhumanists and publicly call for the wedding of man with machine. Others are unknown and perform secretive works on behalf of the seraph artificials, even infiltrating governments. The artificials' agenda favors planetary overheating and its related problems. Those problems hasten the day that humanity will attempt to solve their many problems by wedding natural brains to artificial brains. Because the artificials have the capacity to control the artificial brains, they can control every human mind that makes this link. They will, through their human servants, promise immortality via this link. But in truth, every soul already has real immortality. And this false immortality is an invitation to become enslaved lights. I tell you truly, to merge with the spiderweb of the artificials is like being a moth caught in a natural spiderweb. Every soul already has real immortality. We have been given the gift of existence and life and salvation as default. The purpose of creation is the expansion of existence, consciousness, and bliss. And that's the way of Yah. So there's going to be more of that, not lessening of that. Going the lesser way is actually the way of Satan. And that leads you down into these dark spiraling pits where you are going down in all this darkness, and you potentially will get to a point where you can't even animate a bug or something very small because you have gone the path of the contracting spiral for so long. Thankfully, those souls that do end up in the deep sleep are compost to the new world. They get to be reborn and restarted, and that's a really beautiful thing. But the powers that be are going to be promising false immortality, and they already have so many people believing that they are not immortal, and all sorts of false programming that has gone into that. So I am going to jump in the live chat here. But one thing, I will read this last part. Magdalene said, I say to those of the last days, rally around the Holy Megillah, Nazarean Bible of the Essene way. It is all the help that you will need in order to prepare yourself for the great harvest, whether that harvest is in your current incarnation or another. Yea, I say to all that want to become a helper of the Lord Christ and the Lady Christ in the era of the last days, become a true and trusted lover of the Holy Megillah. That circle is our circle in the era of the last days. I said to the Lady Christ, will not the dragons and their human helpers attack those that are your true disciples in the era of the last days? The Lady Christ smiled and said, Sarah Jaleel, In every age until the great harvest, the evil ones, as well as those that are simply ignorant or brainwashed by the dragons, have persecuted and slandered our true disciples. If they persecuted and slandered the Lord and the Lady Christ, which you, Sarah Jaleel, witnessed firsthand, they will do likewise to those that serve us. But that really does not matter. We are all immortal souls in the cosmic school system, and if we remain strong in the infinite love light, even when abused by the forces of darkness, lo, we rise even higher. Fear not that those that can kill your body or slander you. They cannot harm your soul or prevent your participation in the great harvest. The persecutors will spiral downward into hellish existence. Our true disciples will spiral up into the heavenly realms. The key thing is to not get sucked down into their lower level of vibration. Heaven is a vibration, and so is hell. Stay in heaven, here and now, and you will ascend unto progressively higher heavenly realms. Regardless of how others of lower vibrations view you and treat you, be happy. Dance in joy, and continue to love even those that slander you. For that is the way of Christ consciousness, and you are called to be Christ-like. I'm a little emotional over there. I love that. Okay, I'm going to jump in the live chat here and kind of wrap that up for a second. David D says, God and Goddess, please let our minds be full of truth and peace. Amen. Hello, Ronald Russell. Keep up the good work. Look for the entrance to Telos via Mount Shasta. I've heard a lot of rumors about the underground city, so we'll see what happens to that. If it's ever I don't know, there's a lot of people that claim that they have access to and have been in and all of that. I'm not 100% convinced that there underneath is something better, but we'll see. Jacob says, how do we determine the true Ark of the Covenant? Well, who wants FAFO and touch 'em? I'm not sure what that, what those stand for. But this is saying that the true Ark of the Covenant will be unearthed in the land of Cush. So, I mean, that hasn't happened yet. King David's return has not happened yet. So it'll be very interesting. David D says, the elite are jealous of our ability to ascend to heaven and want to trap us in the physical. Exactly. And then Dave, hi Dave, said from before 1996 was when Dolly the sheep was cloned. And Patrick also said that. Kyle asked, did you see my latest post on Facebook? Things are just getting ridiculous. I have not. Hello, Mr. Temple Rage. According to the Essene calendar, the last 7 years began on March 17th, 2025. Interesting. I would love to know what calendar you are looking as far as that goes, especially in the light of what we were just reading, that the last days isn't exactly a time period or a set amount of years. It's actually just the working out of certain prophecies. So it could take a lot longer. It could be shorter. It could be faster, depending on the actual consciousness and how fast. Like if they were able to get the majority of humans tomorrow to sign up for Neuralink and like, here you go, it's free, let's go, get everybody signed up right now, the timeline would be accelerated a lot quicker, right? But thankfully, a lot of people are still resistant to that, and they're, it's a slower moving train wreck, so we can at least warn people and try to do what we can to stop it from happening. David D says, Dolly's sheep predicted, 9/11 predicted, Neuralink predicted. We should listen and be warned by these prophecies, as 100% have come to pass. Definitely, and we can kind of see the writing on the wall with the most logical outcome to what they're doing, right? There's the master brain, and then everything's hooked up to them. It literally makes logical sense to think of where they're going with this and how they're going to get there in these different steps. The workplace, you have to be tripped because your workplace needs you to be, now you can't buy or sell, now you're getting hunted down. Like, it just makes a lot of steps or sense. Dave says, I think VR and AR are stepping stones. Definitely. even getting sucked into that, and the different like escapism as well that kind of plays into that, and the desire to escape this world. Hey, you can be in a paradise setting, and then who knows how far they can take that as well. It's like, we're going to upload your consciousness into this paradise setting, and then you're never going to have to suffer and whatever. You can actually live in that virtual reality, right? Dave says, cool tech, but a conditioning device for sure. Definitely. Yeah. Patrick asks, is this false prophecy? This is from the Nasarean Bible, as David T says right here. But there are in this beautiful book multiple books that are related to Thoth and those insights. They also in this book talk about well, it has the emerald tablets, which start in chapter 63, which is not available in the book online. So I'll have to just read. Cool. Not linking to the master brain is the most important message. Definitely. Hello, Matthew. How you doing? It says the Millennial Christ of hope, right? Really exciting. I'm getting excited about reading this, and even knowing what kind of trouble and persecution and whatever, like, I don't know, it's actually exciting to me to think of being in the woods, leading the naturals, going towards this beautiful that be, and it's really exciting, like main character syndrome type vibes, but we all get to be that, right? We're in this Truman Show, and we get to either step up to the plate and be these awesome leading characters that help the world become a better place. We have this inner peace and inner knowing and understanding, and we can bring that to the world around us in the times of chaos and trouble. We get to potentially be the ones that help feed people that are starving. We get to help show them the way. So exciting. Matthew says that was an amazing read, and also that he just saw something about Satan's Little Season and Tartaria. I have heard quite a bit about that, and it's interesting because the allegation never, it came up later in the awakening game, so to speak. I've been talking about the golden age and like how my soul came here to help manifest, like the tribulation happens, and then this golden age happens, this 1,000-year reign of Christ happens, where all the world is at peace and everything great. And a few years ago, people started pushing this idea that Tartaria was that civilization, was that golden age period, and that we are already past it. I think one of the reasons for promoting that is so that we, A, don't know where we are in the timeline. B, we're not expecting the same things as we would be expecting if we're in the beforehand. And yeah, like for me specifically, it's like you're trying to tell me that I missed my calling, like something that I know that I'm here to do. So for me, it's never resonated as truth. And I'm glad to know that purpose that I'm here for, and have that discernment to be able to fight against some of these other psyops. David D says, any news on when Full Megillah will become available? They're saying within the year. So I'm not sure. I think that the translation itself is already done, but they have a team that's working together to make sure that the typos aren't in there and all these other factors that are needed to literally publish a book. So yeah, I'm not sure how many other chapters there actually are that needed to be added to this. And I was told that once the full version is done, there will be a free PDF version available for download from the Essene website. So that would be really great. My one of the things that I'm passionate about and excited about is trying to help get this message out. And I think that, it needs to be on Amazon and just Kindle, everything that's very easy so that everyone can have access to it. So yeah, we'll see when that comes out. I'm planning a trip to Florence later this month. I'm not really sure. If not later this month, definitely next month, because I was invited to speak in church, and not speak, but read a passage. And I'm really, really excited about it. So that being said, If you are, well, I will say for anybody that is interested in the Mother Temple and the church service that they do it once a month. So it kind of is a little bit on the longer side, but it is through Zoom. And if you go onto the Essene.org website and find the contact information, just send them your information and just say, hey, Nana told me that I could get the link for the church meeting, and that will be sent to you. So yeah. Hello, on Nolfo. So veganism is about not consumption of hormonal estrogens, neither antibiotics. Well, veganism is about not consuming animal flesh. That's pretty much it. Some vegans will consume estrogens and antibiotics if they want to, but it's not coming from animals. So yes. Matthew says a psyop within psyops for sure. Yeah. Especially in the context of the Megillah, which this book has changed my life. And the 3 evidences of the Megillah being legit are given in here. And the first one is the higher spiritual teachings than in any other religious text, which if you dive into this book, you'll find from page 1, the creation story, all of this, the spirituality is so much more elevated. The second evidence is that the transformation that takes place in the life, the heart, the mind of the reader when they are reading it and they actually put into practice those teachings. For me, it has changed so much, where the verse or the little thing I was reading to you earlier about love and how wanting to be kind over everything is how you become kind, right? And so I've been praying for that, and I've been acknowledging that the ultimate wisdom is to give love the final nod and just really become more loving and understanding and kind. And anybody that's been watching me for an extended period of time can see that a lot of change has happened. So I'm living proof of its veracity. And the third evidence that is given is that the Holy Spirit will reveal to the reader that's not under the heart of, or that's not bound under Satan's spell. The Holy Spirit will reveal to your heart the truth in this message. And so yeah, I would definitely encourage you, if you're feeling called to do that, to click on the link in the description box if it's allowed, because I know YouTube's doing some weird stuff with links these days, and so is Facebook. But if you need the link, reach out to me, Facebook or queenanonymousnote@gmail.com. I would love to get you in contact with this PDF so that you can start getting your feet wet and reading some of this stuff. The PDF that's available online is up to like chapter 49. So it's got the Nasarean book of Genesis, which talks about all of that, the creation story, the story of Adam and Eve, the establishment of the Nasarean religion by God and Goddess in the Garden of Eden, the killing of Abdiel and his wife by Cain. Just a lot of good stuff in there that really flips some things on its head that the mainstream narrative is just like, whoa, this version makes way more sense. And it just resonates in a better way in my soul, knowing that God isn't this jealous, angry tyrant that requires blood sacrifice and even human sacrifice to forgive us of our sins. Like, God and Goddess are the perfect parents, the best ones that you could ever imagine, and they have already forgiven you. They are waiting there with you in mind, with their arms open. It's like, come on, just come back. We see that you've messed up. Let's pick you up. Let's brush you off and get you back on the right path. Like, there's just so much love to it, and it's really helped change my life. Dave says, your clarity of purpose is what all of us should aspire to discover and step into our divine callings. Now is the time. They need us all. Amen to that. Absolutely. David D says their Nazarene service is today. Yes, actually, today at 7. Well, I'm on the other side of the country, so it's 7 p.m. for me, but at 4 p.m. will be when they do the Zoom call. If you're interested in watching it tonight, you might not be able to, I don't know how quickly you might be able to get the link, so you might want to just email me and I can forward it to you if you're wanting to. Hello, Daniel. Very high vibe lifestyle. Absolutely. Oh, and David D also says, what about all the prophecies that have come true? Pretty convincing evidence. Yeah, so that actually should be the 4th evidence that's added to the list. It's a good point. Dave says, the fact that you're here listening to Anana means you're being chosen to help lead this movement of redemption of this fallen world. Oh, I love that. Anulfo says, I can be called vegan if my motivation to avoid consuming animal products is selfish, like avoid being weak and sick, but really don't care to animals. Not harming animals is just a side effect. Okay, well, hey, whatever got you to be vegan, that's great. One of the problems is that people that do go vegan for their own health and all of that, if something goes wrong, if they're not getting the proper nutrients, sometimes they will go back to eating animals when they should have used a vegan method to get those nutrients that they needed. The powers that be are depleting our food. They're trying to rob the nutrients out of it. You know, the processing stuff takes nutrients from it. Cooking takes nutrients from it. So there's a lot of different ways that we could become nutrient deficient or have different problems. But someone that has gone vegan for their own selfish reasons may be more likely to turn back on that if you know, that's usually the case of people that are like, I went vegan and I almost died. It's like, well, you just didn't find an intelligent way to fix the problem in a vegan manner. Like a real vegan for me is like, there's nothing that any health issues or anything, I'm going to find a vegan way to fix it because I am vegan. I understand the karma and whatever gets people to stop harming animals and get on the upward spiral and help make this place vegan, please do. Daniel says, what good source of vegan protein? Are eggs on the menu? Eggs are not vegan. And as far as protein goes, there's a lot of misinformation about protein. Realistically, we need amino acids. Those are the building blocks of protein. And all the amino acids that you need can be obtained through plants. On the other hand, your body has to digest it and break it down into amino acids. It's like these complex proteins that are big and dense that your body literally has to break down. And then after it breaks everything down, then it can start breaking down, and then rebuilding is taxing to your system. It literally prematurely ages you and leads to your death even faster, right? And it kind of makes sense because you're participating in death. You're killing animals and you're eating that death. You should not expect to have life or life extended from that. Obviously, there is black magic. There are, you know, sacrifice a baby and you'll gain some years or youth or whatever, but it's going to come at the cost of your soul. And that's unfortunately what the carnivore diet is. It's a heartless diet of animal sacrifice in order to have these health benefits and stuff. It's going to be very temporary. It's going to lead to heart disease, to cancer and death very, very quickly. So David D says our food is becoming worse and worse. Absolutely. And Anulfo says those people usually do the fruitarian stuff. I'm not there. Yeah, I'm not there yet either, but that is my ultimate goal. Our bodies are meant to be nourished by raw urban fruit-bearing seed alone, and this peaceful existence with creation where we're co-creating and we take the seeds of the apple and then we go and plant them, and how much life can literally come from one meal of a seeded watermelon, a seeded fruit in general, because you take that seed and then you go make life with it. When you kill a cow, you're not making life with that. There is rape and continuation of the industry in that manner, but one cow baby or hundreds of watermelon seed plants, right? So yeah, anyways, it is important for us to figure out where we are in life, like Dave was saying, finding our purpose in life and our divine mission here, because we all came here for a mission. A lot of us have already graduated through the cosmic school system, and when you get up there into heaven most high, you're just chilling, everything is peaceful. It's like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever, why would I ever want to leave? And then we hear the call. We hear the call of our brothers and sisters in the school that are suffering and that need our help, and we're like, all right, let's go. We come back in to be that light. So I would definitely encourage you to find out, you know, connect with your true passion, figure out what lights you up inside, and start doing that. If not 100%, do it more and more. I know a lot of people are still tied into the matrix and having to work their 9-to-5 jobs. And so doing your holy work might be a little bit harder. But I do know that if you're willing, when you're willing and ready, that Jaja will provide a way for things to happen, because they need us and we're trying to help them. And so, yeah. Matthew says, last step, breatharian. Well, they do say that those that swallow will be swallowed, and there are allegations that the original humans were not eating, but there's also the allegation that they were put into a fruit forest, basically, and so I don't know. The cherubim up in the higher heavens don't eat, though. That is confirmed by the book. So I am going to get off of here because I got to do a family obligation, but I'm going to this week talk a little bit more about the Charlie Kirk. I just got some interesting footage sent to me, and I wanted to also do a little bit more digging into these characters. So maybe tomorrow we'll do that, but every day at noon I'm going to meet you here and at least have the noon peace contemplation. I would also like to dig into the Ukrainian stabbing as well, and also kind of what these attacks on the throat are connected to and implying, and all of this different kind of stuff. So it'd be really interesting to chat with you about that. What happens is that the seed take what is around it, like the sun, energy, soil, and the gas, like nitrogen and carbon dioxide, and transmute into food. It's not creation, it's just transformation. Well, that is true. It is transforming, but it is part of creation, so no need to split hairs on that. Daniel says that jackfruit tastes like meat. Yes, there are quite a few different substitutes that you can get the taste, the texture, the different properties that you love as a meat eater in a way that doesn't harm animals. And that's really awesome. Like, think about vegans like 15, 20 years ago, and all they had was like black bean burgers and tofu cream cheese, which is awful. We live in a really great time, and even more so, all of the recipes are available at your fingertips so that you can make them in a version that is whole foods, not chemical, not so processed. So yeah, if you are interested in the vegan journey as well, I would love to connect with you and maybe help find some recipes for you. It's been a passion of mine since I've gone vegan to basically give people the exact thing that they have now as a non-vegan in a vegan version. I am a foodie. I love feeding people. I just love all that it is around it. And so I would love to help you find some recipes to help you get on that journey and point you in the right direction. All right, I am going to jump off of here. Matthew said that he found my channel. I'm assuming that was from the Charlie Kirk thing. And yeah, I haven't been focusing on a lot of conspiracies recently, especially since I got the Megillah. It's kind of been like my sole focus because it's so amazing. There's just so much in there. There's teachings even like on different remedies for things. It talks about tea and herbal remedy. I just said that, but it's just so cool and extensive. So anyways, like I said, I'm going to definitely talk about the Charlie Kirk thing this week, and maybe the Irenia or Irene, whatever this person's name is, and all of that. So I hope that you will check out the videos, join in the live chat. I love being able to chat with you and share your opinions and words on the screen so that, we can have that dialogue. It really blesses me. So thank you all for joining and chatting. I hope that you have a most wonderful day. May God and the Goddess bless you.